It is a pleasure for Boutique My Business to be today with Ms. Carina Bauer, CEO of IMEX Group. Thank you very much, Carina, for the opportunity. Congratulations for your 20th anniversary. Congratulations for the execution of such a magnificent production. And please, Carina, I'm number one fan of you. First of all, I've been following you for many years, but you didn't know me personally, and I had the chance of attending this amazing trade show for many years from different markets around the world. So, Carina, for all those who did not have the chance to meet you yet, could you please introduce yourself to the audience, meaning how did you start it within the MICE business, the trade shows business? When did that begin? Because you are joining, IMEX is joining now 20 years, and you joined in 2002, meaning you basically, together obviously with your team and the management team as well, the founder, you've been here for 20 years.
Yeah, that's right.
How did you come into the trade show business, and when did that start?
Yes, so I don't know if you're aware, but IMEX is a family business. So it's my father who founded IMEX in 2001, and I wasn't in the trade show business before that. He obviously has been in the business since the early 80s. He founded EIBTM in 87, sold that to Reed Exhibitions, who still run that. And he launched IMEX in 2001, and I joined the launch team in 2002, with the intention of just helping with that first show. But I enjoyed it so much that I stayed, and here I am 20 years later.
20 years later, and it's amazing because IMEX Group, it's, now have, recently signed a partnership with Messe Frankfurt, where we are a fantastic destination. So, please, let's highlight, those main gains of this amazing partnership, long-term partnership, because 2025, it's a partnership to take into consideration with this Messe Frankfurt as a venue to execute the next upcoming IMEX for the next editions within the next 3 years.
Yes, that's right. So we've been, when we launched the show the first show was actually 2003. When we launched the show, it was here at Messe Frankfurt. The first two shows were in Hall 3, which were brand new halls at the time, and still stunningly beautiful halls, floor-to-ceiling windows. But we grew out of those halls in the first 2 years. Then we moved in 2005 to these halls. This is the largest single hall that Messe Frankfurt has. And as you can see, we fit very well inside it, and obviously we utilize Hall 9 now for all our experiences and education. And so we're very happy with our partnership with Messe Frankfurt. We have worked with them very well for 20 years, and we were delighted to be able to sign with them and confirm the dates and that partnership through to 2025. And we will, be here for the foreseeable future.
And it's a great destination in terms of a European hub. It's centrally located, and a lot of people from all around Europe, as well as obviously from abroad, as we can see here, there is participants from all over the world.
Yeah, the reason that the show was located in Frankfurt in the beginning is, one is infrastructure. Messe Frankfurt is a very well-established and large complex, so large enough to host us. We have great transport links, so we can actually get people from all over the world into Frankfurt in just one journey, on a flight, but also fantastic train links from right across Europe, which is becoming increasingly important. So hundreds of our buyers and exhibitors come in by train, and obviously this is a major hub for train and road within Europe. But then also we have it's a hub, an economic hub within Europe, this region, and so we have a lot of the corporate buyers and the agency buyers within quite a close proximity. But as well as the hosted buyers that we bring in from all around the world, we also have a very strong amount of German buyers who can get here very easily.
All-inclusive destination.
All-inclusive, yeah, I love it.
All-inclusive package, all-inclusive events. And Carina Bauer, Miss Carina Bauer at the forefront, at the helm of the development of this fantastic trade show taking place in Frankfurt today. So, Carina, please, you've been awarded so many times. I know that normally people don't like to talk so much about their awards, but please let us know about the recent award that you have received in April 2022, as well as many others. For you are a reference for many people. And I would please just take a minute to highlight those awards, because you are one of the most influential personalities within the mice business. And also, Carina, let's highlight the latest news that we could just take the chance that we are here on the spot to let our community and our readers know about the latest things going on in IMEX 2022 Frankfurt, please.
Yeah, well, obviously, as you say, we're delighted to be, this is the rebirth really of the industry. Obviously, it's our rebirth as well. We had to cancel 2 shows. So this is the first IMEX in Frankfurt show since 2019. So it's very special for us, but also for the industry as well. And I could see yesterday the emotion on the floor of people not only seeing each other again, and of course that's very special, but also what it signifies, which is that the industry is coming back, business is coming back, there's demand there, and that we've been very resilient within these times. In terms of the show, we have thousands of appointments taking place over these 3 days, thousands of buyers from all over the world coming together. But also this year we've redesigned our experience. Hall 9, there's a lot of education taking place. We're really showcasing as well there what we're doing around sustainability, and nature is our theme for this year. And so we've really taken that in mind in terms of how we've redesigned the space, the natural grass that we used in the Central Park area, which is our food court, the bird song that you can hear, the different...
So nice.
It's so lovely, to be able to have that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so all of these little details we've really thought through. There are different smells in each of the education spaces and different sounds based on the theme. It stimulates, exactly. And so I think we've really tried to think about how people can develop their whole experience, which includes their well-being, includes their education, but it also gives them time for real experience and downtime as well within the sort of busyness and the buzz of the trade show floor.
You mentioned very interesting words, but it's also the motivational level on the floor. It's amazing. It's stunning. The people are smiling even when they are going to have a coffee break, And at the end of the day, even if IMEX Frankfurt unfortunately has been cancelled the last 2 years, it also shows your commitment and responsibility, because it was a harsh decision to make this cancellation. But at the same time, it also, we can rely on you as organizers, leading event organizers, and mainly meeting professionals, because you are serving the industry, and we need the backup of companies or organizations such as yourself to provide this type of platforms and resources and opportunity to make the industry evolve. So talking about the involvement of the industry within your expertise and knowledge and know-how, putting together a leading trade show in the world for the mice industry, could you tell us what would you say to a new exhibitor that would like to come to IMEX? What will be the main benefits they can get from exposure in terms of brands, leaders, venues, companies, market? Let's highlight the main gates of exposing within your platform.
Yeah, obviously, IMEX at its core is about business. And business development. So really, exhibitors invest in IMEX, and they don't just invest by buying a booth, but they invest in everything that they do and how they show up. And that is really central to their success as well. IMEX really, for any exhibitor needs to be a kind of central part of a year-round marketing campaign where they're in touch with the market. But this is the point at which they can meet the marketplace from all over the world in one week, if you like. What we do is special because we bring together not only the global marketplace, but every segment of the business events market. You know, it's quite a complex, broad industry. There are many specialisms within it, and you can see all of them here at IMEX. So, and that is really the power of it, bringing everybody together. One of our exhibitors was saying to me today, he was from Brazil, and he said, there are 3 Brazilian buyers I've met here. I've never met them before. I knew about one of them, but actually IMEX has brought Brazil to me here in Frankfurt, as well as meeting all the other global buyers that are here. So I think it's special because we're bringing all of that together. And I think when you bring so many people from different cultures, from different market sectors together in one place, there's a confluence of ideas, of experiences. We learn from each other. We do business, and it gives a very special environment actually in which to do that business, and importantly to develop the relationships.
And the good relationships.
Exactly.
Meaning the quality of the contacts and the creation of immersed and personalized, customized experiences is very important. But the most important as well is, as you said, we were talking about Frankfurt being a hub for the European markets or an economic hub, and obviously for the mice business. So IMEX is the hub for the mice industry, and you also celebrate this event in the Americas. So are you planning to expand IMEX in different regions besides IMEX America and IMEX Frankfurt, or we are going to stay here for many more years without thinking about expansion or diversification with the show?
Yeah, no, that's right. We're committed and focused on IMEX in Frankfurt and IMEX America, which takes place in Las Vegas. And for us, really, what we're interested in is building the breadth and depth of these shows, building them into even better experiences every year, and driving forward key issues in the industry that are going to take the industry forward. And that's really where our focus is.
Thank you very much, Carina. I would also like you to please highlight what are the priorities on your agenda facing the next upcoming months, gathering this as a real experience after 3 years. After 2 years of not being able to reunite together. Now we are recovered. We are not talking about reuniting for recovery. Hopefully we have recovered from this one, and now we can think about futuristic initiatives. We have to be futuristic because frankly there has been a demand on, and the client has become more demanding, even if we did not have the possibility to consumption of these products which are needed within our business and our industry. The demand went up. So now we will have to think about being more creative and being more innovative and being futuristic. And the technology is advancing so fast that I don't know what's going to be next. So that's my question. What's next within your vision as a visionary that you are? You didn't tell us the awards that you received, but she is a visionary. She is a referential woman within the industry and one of the most knowledgeable persons. So Carina, what do you think is next? Does the technology will replace the face-to-face? Because now hybrid events, online events conference took a lot of part of the market in terms of the face-to-face will never be replaced. But frankly, it's an additional competitor that we do have right now. So are you merging those? Are you complementing? Do you think it's a complemented, or do you think it's a rival? Those online and all the technology that has come through the crisis very, very fast.
I know that technology is both an enabler and a complement to in-person events. It always has been since, I joined the industry in 2002, and the biggest conversation then was whether the internet was going to replace in-person events.
That was 20 years ago.
And that was 20 years ago. So the conversation hasn't really changed, where the technology has. The reality is that these are channels. We need to be more strategic in the events that we're producing. We need to work out what the objectives are of our clients. What do they want to achieve by getting their customers, their teams together, and then work out with them the best way to do that. Sometimes it will be online, sometimes it will be in person only, and sometimes it will be a mix of the two. But ultimately, I think what we're seeing right now in terms of the demand in the sector, which is global, is that the technology that we have been kind of forced to operate within over the pandemic and only being able to use technology has increased the demand for in-person events. That's the reality. So what we really need to learn to do is work out how we can use the technology as an enabler to improve the experience of our events. And sometimes that will mean making them hybrid. And sometimes it will mean utilizing technology to make the actual in-person event far more effective, far more enjoyable and experience for the participant. And those are different technologies that you would use for both of those things. But that is really where it is at. It's a total enabler.
And the bird is technology as well, meaning it can, that sounds, everything is technology, the smell,
exactly.
the sounds, the whole experience, give you a transportation. It's a transformative experience. Right. IMEX Frankfurt 2022 is a transformative experience, and Miss Carina Bauer is with Boutique My Business today. So any thing you would like, let's talk about the facts and figures. Just very briefly, Carina, please. How many exhibitors are we having today, or in terms, how many people are attending to IMEX? Let's talk a little bit on the facts and figures, meetings arranged, companies presence, exhibitors. Let's make a briefing on that.
So there are 2,300 exhibiting companies here from about 100 countries. And we had, prior to the show starting, just over 40,000 appointments. That's a mix of all the appointments. The majority of those are individual one-on-one, also stand presentations and group appointments as well. So that's where we are today. And tomorrow we will be able to give the figures of how many people actually came, the total number. But obviously we look at that at the end of the show.
Thank you so much for your time, for the opportunity. And please, Carina, if you don't mind, a parting message for the community, for readers, encouraging, innovating, aspiring tools, personalities, brands, leaders, and venues present in Frankfurt 2022. IMEX Group organizing behind the development of this great trade show. Thank you.
Thank you.
And please, a parting message for our readers and the community.
I would just say, congratulations, well done of getting through the past 2 years. We've all been through that together. I think it's brought us closer as an industry. I think it's allowed us to be more innovative as an industry. And what I would say is to be really excited for the future, because this is a resilient, creative industry that we are lucky enough to be within. It's an industry in high demand. We can achieve great things for the organizations we work for the clients that we work for, and the destinations where we can leave a fantastic legacy. So be really excited about what the future holds, but keep in mind that we also have to do our part in terms of creating events that are more sustainable and more inclusive, and that is really what we need to focus on for the next few years.
It's an industry and it's a family.
Exactly.
Let's finish with that. Exactly. So thank you very much, Carina Bauer, for your kind words and wise words. And see you in IMEX America.
Fabulous. See you there.
When you come into a situation like we have this week, we haven't been here for 3 years, and we know the tremendous effort that the team have put in, together with our partners in the industry, which is huge numbers of partners from across the world. You have hope. You have an expectation, but you have a hope. And I think it's fair to say this week that we've reached our highest hope. I wouldn't often say that in life about things, but I don't think we could really have expected anything better, taking into account what we all know we've gone over these last couple of years. I don't need to go into that. We all know we haven't been able to get together, basically. And I think from the point of view of the participants here, the first thing is they're so pleased, and all of us included, to be seeing each other, to be able to get together once again, to be able to talk face to face and enjoy company, enjoy everything that goes with it. So that would be an overriding sentiment before everyone arrives. I think that the good thing as well is that we've walked into a situation where business is being done. It didn't start here this week, but business is already being done. And I've spoken, and our team have, to many people in the industry, agencies and others as suppliers. And there is so much business on certain sectors of our marketplace place, that they're actually being very selective in what they take, and indeed can't cope with all the business anyway. And there are certain things coming out of it going forward which will be better for them. People say, for example, all these RFPs, when people have to spend so much time on it, and indeed waste a lot of time. And now if someone does that, they just don't respond. So I think we walked into a situation where there's business being done, which is what we've seen here on the show floor, from the over 40,000 appointments, taking into account individual and group. The feedback we have had from the stands, and not just walking around myself, not just Carina, our entire team and others, and people coming up to us, telling us how well the show has gone. So we're extremely pleased with that. When you look at the numbers that have come into the show, it'll be round about, the final number will be round about 9,000 people who will have attended this show this week, which is good, of which round about 3,000 will be buyers. We'll put out the split in due course, but taking overall, probably about 3,000 buyers. And I've mentioned the appointments that have taken place. So I think that would be a view of what I think, putting it in that way, of what we've achieved. And I think that the industry itself and the associations here to get together as well and plan for the future has also been so critical. And to say we experienced a good show last November in Las Vegas, that was in America. We didn't know exactly what was going to happen here in Europe.
I think that they can do business, they will be here and present and investing in the way that they are. And I think over the past 20 years we've earned their trust by delivering good shows, and we obviously kept in very close contact with all of our clients through this period, and they wanted to come here to show the world that they were open, to show the world actually how they've invested in their infrastructure in this industry over the past 2 years, and I think that investment has been absolutely incredible, really, during a time when this industry has been really on hold. The hotel groups, the destinations, they've opened new convention centres, they've opened new hotels, they have refurbed their hotels, they've really taken the opportunity of this pause to reinvent what they're doing, and they wanted to come here to show the world that they're open and that they're ready for business, and that's really what it's about. Members to the show simply to do the education and experience the show. We don't charge obviously for the education, so it's an amazing opportunity. And you know, we're looking at other things that would possibly work for exhibitors. So certainly there is a massive demand from exhibitors to take part in education, but the issue is time rather than where it's located. The reality is our exhibitors are here primarily to do business, and so that's what they prioritise. But absolutely, it's up to them how they manage that.